Ladies and gentlemen, how you doing? It is John the Ninja, live in the dojo, aka the Dojang, aka the John the Ninja Studios, and you know this, man! Concert resume number 23, if I'm correct. It's gonna be me, John the Ninja, live at the BB&T Pavilion once again for the MMrBQ 2016. This is a show I was not going to go to, but being very observant as a child and hearing these wise words from a movie called Starship Troopers. If you have an opportunity to have a good time, take it. Only because you never know what's going to happen. You might miss that opportunity with that girl. You might miss that opportunity with the guy, depending on which way you roll, or just in general. You might miss something special. Quick example, I had a test in college that I was really trying to ace for statistics, and my friend Greg came back from the Army, actually National Guard. So I said, let me be responsible. Instead of going out with everybody and having a great time, I stayed, I studied. Next day, I still failed the test, and even worse, it turns out all hell broke loose, and it was one of the bad times for the friend group. You know, we had exes fighting, we had people drinking, it was a party, and I missed it all. So just priorities, know your place. If whatever, it didn't work out for John, but just remember, always take the opportunity to have a great time. So this show was something I definitely know I wasn't gonna go to. I had an interview, and I just don't know for what the interview was. But I do remember I was at MMR. Somebody probably offered me tickets. It was probably, one of the two promotional directors. And I said, sure. I asked Zach if he can come. He said, sure. And that was it. We decided to go. So after that interview, I went there, and I was there in time to catch Wolfmother. If you don't know Wolfmother, let me tell you, one kick-ass band. I wouldn't say psychedelic fully, but they definitely have that psychedelic hard rock groove, 70s, that you just don't get with a lot of rock today. And the first time I heard of Wolfmother was Woman, for the Guitar Hero video game. They used that song for the commercials. It was pretty awesome. So, Zach was all about Wolfmother. He wanted to see Wolfmother. That was his band. Sadly, work commitments made it that he had to miss that part of the show. I felt so bad for him, but just watching them, I was thoroughly impressed. I remember in an interview, their lead guitarist/singer, he said that, you don't think you're, all that in a bag of chips, but then when Jimmy Page says, hey, that was a good idea you did here musically, it works. So I don't know his name. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not even going to look it up. You can leave it in the comments and let me know. But he's phenomenal. That whole band was doing well. And if memory serves me correctly, I'm going to cheat and look off the notes. I want to say it was for the Victorious album they were supporting. And I would be right. So they came out, and these two bands that were before them were Soraya and Red Sun Rising. So I only missed those bands, and then still general admission, still earlier in the day, so I got to see them. And I gotta say, I was thoroughly impressed. I was rocking along, and the song I really wanted to see was Joker and the Thief in the Night. I always change the lyric. Let me tell you about the story about the motherfucking thief in the night. Like, the night, like, or the night, like, oh, it's dark. I like mixing up lyrics in my head and singing my own stuff, but they were a solid set, especially New Moon Rising definitely caught my attention. They came out with Victorious, but I'll do the set list later. Now, this band I really did want to see after this, they had a brand new song out. It was called Are You the Answer? AYTA. That was Collective Soul. And I remember, I'm sitting there, I'm excited, because they are known. Everybody knows the songs, even though they don't know the name of the song. If you were to mention Gel, or if you mention Shine, you gotta let your light shine down. Yeah, all those songs. So you know the band, you've heard it, you just don't know what you're listening to. So ATYA was a song I really love. Are You the Answer? It's still a song I love to this day. The acoustics great, the lyrics are great. It's just an overall great tune. And looking at the band, I don't know who their guitarist is, the real skinny beanpole, but man, you see him just, without a guitar, it's like, there's a guy. You give him a guitar, that guy will kick some serious ass. Somebody once said, you give a gun to a pussy, he becomes a man. And then somebody countered that with, that's the same with a guitar. I'm not saying he's weak, I'm not saying he's a joke, but you can see the energy and the pizzazz just pop out of him as soon as he started playing. I was like, whoa. So I'm enjoying Collective Soul. When they came out, I'm like, wow, that looks like Bill Weston. Bill Weston of WMMR, from afar, does look like Collective Soul's lead singer. They both got the gray hair. So I was like, is he really on the stage? And then I made the connection, no, they're two different people. They look totally different. Okay, so with that said, I was enjoying it, and finally my song comes on. ATYA. I'm excited. I'm like, I can't wait to hear this song. Text message. Zach, I'm here. Of course. And I have his ticket. Now, to be fair, Zach is, he's a trainer now. He was doing training duties over at Eastern, but he just came at the wrong time. I'm like, oh, Zach. So we cut it short. I got to see most of the song anyway, and then I bring him in. We see the rest of the set, and we catch up. I remember specifically, I believe Kevin Reardon, Lockdown Kevin's, he was up on the lawn doing DJ duties. I think Jackie was back there. But it wasn't a day to look for MMR staff. I was just hanging about. I was with my buddy, and we were enjoying the time. Now, the next band, this is one of Zach's favorite bands, Sixx AM, Nikki Sixx's band. They are fresh off a new album, and when they first came out, one song that was really big to me was This Is Gonna Hurt. There's a bullet in the chamber, there's a devil in the church, mess it up, great solo. That was a song I remember from my childhood. I want to say childhood, I was probably in high school when that song came out. But the big thing about Nikki Sixx, if I haven't mentioned it before, I actually read the Heroine Diaries. Let me catch this for you. The Heroine Diaries is pretty much journal entries of Nikki Sixx's life during, I want to say 87, 88, when he was doing drugs and doing Motley Crue. You get so much info, and I learned a lot. I didn't know he had a relationship with Vanity, Prince's girl Vanity. If you don't know her, you gotta get on that. Homegirl was beautiful. She passed away, may she rest in peace, but she was a pastor. He goes into like what inspired certain songs, how he was feeling at that time, what it's like to take heroin. He did a very, very interesting needle injection into a spot that makes any man cringe, and only men could understand it. But that's how desperate he was, even using toilet water to get high. So, I read this my freshman year of college, and it ensued me wanting to learn more about rock stars and read even more. So, after reading this, it made me want to learn more about rock stars and made me want to read more autobiographies. And I've become a reader because of this book. It was so good. It was so interesting. And I was not a Motley Crue fan until I read this. And I bought their, CD. And if you guys haven't seen my concert resume video on Motley Crue, you should. That goes into detail with it. So, Sixx AM is coming out. For Zach, him and Walter, his uncle, whom we are concert buddies with, they actually saw them play live somewhere. And then they went to, I think it was the MMrBQ. They played live at the BB&T, and then afterwards they went to the Fillmore in Philly. Cross the casino, you got the Fillmore, and upstairs, a place that's close and near and dear to my heart, what is it? The Foundry. They played another set. Cool thing is, bands back in the day, we're talking 60s, 70s, 80s even, they used to do 3-a-days, 4-a-days. They used to play entire shows, 2-hour shows, 3-hour shows, 4 times a day. So that's not something that's common nowadays. Now it's an appearance on the Tonight Show, and then you go to your show and you're done for the city. But back then they used to do that. So Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx is definitely somebody that was probably used to that back in the day, and they said let's keep it going. Now this is 2016, but you get the idea. But they came out. DJ Ashbach kicked a lot of ass. I'll give him that too. Not the biggest fan of his, even though he played for Guns N' Roses. He has my respect, regardless. But Sixx AM was solid. Everyone was thinking Sixx AM was going to be, the new, Motley Crue. Being that Nikki Sixx is the main writer for Motley Crue, I feel like he just wanted to work with different people. It's still got the same feel. Different music, different sound to an extent, but, it's still got Nikki Sixx in it. So after that, Three Doors Down. And it's starting to get cold now. Me and Zach are just dressed like, this, normal t-shirts and whatever, but it's starting to get a little cold, and I'm starting to get the sniffles, but I'm fighting through. I'm like, oh Lord, don't let me get sick. But Three Doors Down is another band I wanted to see. Growing up in the early 2000s, you hear Loser and Kryptonite and Loser all the time. When It's Not My Time came out, that was around 2007, 2008. That was when I was really getting into rock. And that song, Radio Nowhere by Bruce Springsteen, Finger Eleven's Paralyzer, Metallica's The Day That Never Comes. Those are songs that I remember specifically sticking out in my head. I'm like, whoa, that's bringing me back to the days in my room doing homework, listening to the radio. So I really wanted to say that. And they did a new song, In the Dark, which I was playing heavily at WYBF because I just love Three Doors Down. They're such a good band. And there's no other way to explain that one. Anyway, the next one was Shinedown. And I was not the biggest Shinedown guy, other than Tell My Mother, Tell My Father, something. I forget that song's name. Hold on, let me look it up. Cut the Cord, Second Chance. Second Chance. Other than Second Chance, and the one they did a song, and the WWE used it for WrestleMania 22. I think it was I Dare You or Dare. Those are the only songs I really listened to. I've heard Shinedown songs, but I wasn't a big fan. By golly, they are phenomenal. They are phenomenal. Like, what a great show. And they won me over every time Shinedown comes around. I'm like, damn, I really might have to see them. Because no matter how many times I see them, even if it's the same thing, Shinedown kicks so much ass. And with that said, Zach Myers is somebody I've also met. I met him at MMR when he was doing a acoustic set with some friends, and I had to find information. I remember it being such a pain in the ass because I could find no information on that band or anything, and I was freaking out. Mind you, I freaked out about a lot of things. Because I was an intern, I didn't want to mess it up. I loved, for the first time in my life, feeling like this is the job I can do. So, but he was such a cool guy. He was real personable. And Zach Myers is just a great guy. But the one thing I remember specifically from that was Cut the Cord is my favorite Shinedown song. And I used that on a lot of runs for cross country when it came out. It had been 2015 or like the end of 16, but before my cross country career was over. That was a song I sang. And I remember the last race of my career. I forget the school. It was a high school in PA, but I was a good maybe, let's say 700, 800 meters from the finish. And there was always a spot where our coach would go, get them. Go. This is go time. All that endurance training, all those mile repeats, all those runs we went on, this is it. This is where it's all going to matter. And this was my last, this was my last race. So I said, I'll give it what I got. Let's see what he's got. And he was there, and he said, go. And I said, damn, because the finish line looked far as hell. Golly. And I turned it on, and I kept going, and then I noticed, like, hey, I'm still sprinting. Let me keep sprinting. And I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I kept going. And I must have passed, realistically, 8 people and made it to the finish. Now, it wasn't a PR, it wasn't something special, but I beat a lot more people than I expected. And even to this day, he brought it up at practice, or he'll say it like, yeah, man, I remember, you beat all those guys last minute. He sounds like a pothead. He's not. He's one of the most athletic dudes I've ever met. God, it's annoying. Always aggressive. Playing basketball, running with him. He made running suck. Be like, it's going to be a light day? Yeah, man, be a light day. He moves a little faster. Well, I don't want to be a bitch and get left behind. I'm going to move a little faster. And he keeps moving faster, and we keep moving faster. It never ends. But that was the song, back to the whole point. That was the song in my head, Cut the Cord. So that first, cut it! That was something I was like, oh, I'm going to scream that as loud as I can. So you hear the music like, freedom, na, 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 freedom, la, la, la. So the cut it comes, and I when I say I belt this as loud as I can, I belt it. Like throat damage, vocal cord issues. Like I said, cut! And I started headbanging, and Zach jumped. He was like, what the? And he was like, oh, what the fuck was that? And I was like, I'm sorry. It's before I stole it and started doing the little wrist thing he does all the time. I was like, I'm sorry, this is my song. But that cut it. I'll never forget that strength behind that. Cut it! And him jumping, like, what the fuck? So that was fun. But again, if you never saw Shinedown, that's a band I obviously cannot stress enough. You have to see them. They are a phenomenal show, and they're a great time. They're good dudes. And, of course, Disturbed out with their Vengeful One album, with The Sound of Silence, the remake of the Garfunkel and the rest of those guys' song. Or was it? Is it The Sound of Silence? Yeah, it is The Silence. Simon and Garfunkel cover. So, I remember, I think they did a show at Tower Theater. Or maybe it was the TLA. I remember Marcus, my mentor, over at WMM, we were talking about. So I'm going to say it was at the TLA. They did a warm-up opening show to get ready for the tour that we're going to be on. And it was a huge, huge taking that they were coming back. The song was killing it. It really was everywhere. It was a great song, a great cover, and then the album itself was really good. I was personally more of a fan of the Vengeful One. That was my favorite song. I'm the hand of God. That's probably why God sent me to kill, or take vengeance on what you've done. But another band you grow up with, early 2000s, Disturbed, was real cool. But I remember Marcus, he was at the TLA, and him and David Draymond, they had to talk about their pets. They went back and forth like, oh yeah, my pet does this. I know Marcus has cats, so I think Draymond has a cat too. It might have been a dog, but I'm dating back to 2016 when I have this conversation with Marcus at WMMR at like 3 a.m. So with that said, I got to see all the songs I wanted to see when I was a kid. Down with the Sickness, 10,000 Fists in the Air was a song I heard all the time because of this video game. NFL Madden 2006 with Donovan McNabb on the cover. But that was one of the songs on it, along with Avenged Sevenfold, and it had a lot of good tunes. But I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know what he was saying, so I used to mix it up with like lyrics that just made sense to me. And I was a V for Vendetta fan, so it was always like, we will remember the 5th of November. So I'm just always, I'm telling you, there's so many songs I have in my head that I change the lyrics. Another goddamn day, I know what I want and I've come to play, deliver the knife, deliver the knife, yeah. Like, I should write my own music at this point, but it was just super fun. They did the game, 10,000 Fists. The Light is one, but I think the most important song was Inside the Fire. That's, again, another one of those 2007, 2008 songs that resonates with me from growing up. And that is my favorite Disturbed song. That is the song I use in my intro when I was on the radio, when I am on the radio, because it's going to happen again. Just a great show. And after that, I got sick. Yeah, it was still freezing cold outside by the end of it. And we went home, and yeah, John was just so freaking cold and runny nose that I got sick for the next couple of days, and that was it. But I do remember the last part was I recorded the end of it with David Draymond saying, "We are," and the crowd saying, "Disturbed, we are disturbed, we all are disturbed." And I edited it, hoping to use it in the future, and I did. So that was 2016's MMrBQ. Let's see what the sets were, and will always be. For Wolfmother, they played Victorious. Woman was number 2. California Queen. New Moon Rising. Dimension was 5. The Love That You Give is 6. Colossal was 7. And The Joker and the Thief was 8. Note that I have here was the lead singer was told that it was New Jersey. He was like, "Hello, Philadelphia." And then somebody said, "It's New Jersey." He's like, "Oh, what? It's New Jersey?" "Oh, I don't know, mate. I'm sorry. New Jersey, how are you doing?" I was like, yeah, somebody got it right. Most of the time, bands, they know to include both. They know they're in Jersey, and they know Philly's across. So it's, a mix of both. You got to intertwine both. Collective Soul, I personally think stole the show. That's what I put down here on the paper. Heavy was number 1. Gel was 2. Where the River Flows 3. This 4. Contagious 5. Confession 6. Are You the Answer was number 7, my favorite song. Then Zach comes in. Pa, pa. 8 was December. The World I Know 9. And then Shine was number 10. And then I got Zach. So Sixx AM played This Is Gonna Hurt. That was my favorite song by them. Rise was number 2. 3 was When We Were Gods. 4, Everything Went to Hell. 5, Prayers for the Damned. 6, Lies of the Beautiful People. 7 was Stars. And then 8 was Life is Beautiful off the, pretty sure it's the same name, the Heroine Diaries album from Nikki Sixx. Number 3, Three Doors Down. Still Alive, number 1. It's Not My Time, number 2. I'm happy they threw that out there, because I was like, okay, good. I don't have to worry about it. 3, Let Me Go. 4, Loser. 5, Broken. 6 was Away from the Sun. How about that? Duck and Run was 7. The Road I'm On, 8. In the Dark, 9. Here Without You, 10. I always think of Eddie Guerrero for that song. It's a song they used for his tribute video. Number 11 was Kryptonite with reggae in the middle. It was weird, but it worked. And then it says 12, When I'm Gone. It may have been different. Those two may have been flip-flopped. But I definitely remember the reggae. I was like, whoa, they throwing some reggae in this. Shinedown, Asking For It was number 1. Fly From the Inside is 2. Diamond Eyes, Boom, Lay, Boom, Lay, Boom, 3. I don't know if that's even the lyrics. I wonder if that's actually the name of the song. Number 4, If You Only Knew. 5, Unity. 6, Enemies. 7, I'll Follow You. 8, State of My Head. That is a song they played to death at MMR. I heard it all the time, and it's a great song, but once you hear something every couple of hours over and over and over and over, God, you start to hate it. So I was good with it. Cut the Cord was my favorite song. That's when I used the scream. Second Chance was 10. Simple Man on acoustic, which everybody loves, is 11. And The Sound of Madness, that's always a kick-ass way to end the show. That was 12. And then Disturbed, of course, I had to go Deliver the Knife with 10,000 Fists in the Air was number 1. The Game was 2. The Vengeful One, which I was happy to see, was 3. Prayer was 4. Liberate 5. Stupefy 6. The Sound of Silence was 7. Inside the Fire. That was good for my soul. 8. The Light was 9. And then they did a bunch of cover songs. Baba O'Reilly, Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Closer. Killing in the Name Of. That was like the 10 set. And then they did Indestructible. And then including, they did 12, which was an encore, Voices. And then 13, Down with the Sickness. And that was for 2016's WMMrBQ. Did you go to the MMrBQ? Did you see any of those bands? What were your favorite songs from those bands? Guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I love what I do. I've been getting certain emails and comments from people saying how great these are. It is something. It is a feeling you can't beat when you do something you love and people appreciate it. So for concert number 24, it's going to be Black Sabbath on This Is the End tour. This is it. And I tell you what, for the last Sabbath show I'll ever see, it's a damn good one. Guys, I'll check you next time. In the meantime, be smart, be mindful, and God bless. Ninja out.